Friday Night Stars, presented by Whataburger. When tangy Southern-style sauce and slaw meet a bacon cheese Whataburger, you get the Southern Bacon Double Burger. 2 patties, bacon, cheese, pickles, onions, and slaw on a 5-inch bun. Back for a limited time at participating locations.
It is time for another edition of Friday Night Stars, brought to you by Whataburger from inside the Globe Life studios here at the Star in Frisco, Texas. Bill Jones along with Kyle Yeomans, and what a football weekend we have ahead. Of course, it will all culminate with the Cowboys on the road taking on those San Francisco 49ers. 11 a.m. on Saturday at the Cotton Bowl. It's Texas and Oklahoma, and all sorts of good high school football Thursday night and Friday.
See, that's the thing, is it's a complete week of football in Texas. And yeah, of course, the Cowboys aren't at home this week. They'll have to make the trip, but everybody's going to be watching that one, just like everyone's going to be watching high school football on Thursday and Friday this week, because there's plenty of matchups on both days.
Yeah, we get into October, and this really is football season. Hey, we even had a cold front come through. Okay, here we go with the Whataburger game of the week. It is tonight, half hour away from kickoff, in fact, in District 4-6A. It's the Southlake Carroll Dragons against the Keller Indians. By the way, Southlake Carroll, the alma mater of Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers. And this was a very close game last year, 38-35. Carroll won it.
Yeah, I think that's really what a lot of people have forgotten about this matchup specifically. Keller was a team that won 10 games last year, but it's still Southlake that sets the tone. So I'll start with the Carroll Dragons for the most part. Number 3 team in 6A. Of course, Graham Knowles missed week 5. You turn around, and the Dragons still turn around, and they've got Angelo Rinda, who came in 16 of 22 passing, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air. Of course, Knowles was fantastic before then, 64 of 94 passing, 956 yards. But he's not the only one that's expected to return for Southlake. It's going to be Riley Wormley available at running back for the most part. You have the 60 carries, 670 yards, 9 touchdowns from Davis Penn, but he can turn around, and you've got you got Penn and Worley that are both to come back and play around in that matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how much the new player for Southlake Carroll will be used in this one, but that's a great way to kick off the weekend. We got some other great matchups. How about we go to District 6-5A2? It's the Kimball Knights and the South Oak Cliff Golden Bears.
Yeah, South Oak Cliff keeping hopes alive for another state championship with Coach Todd and company. Their only losses on the season are, of course, to Duncanville, state champion. DeSoto, state champion. They already took down one state champion at the TAPS level in Parrish, but this is probably their final big test going into the playoff push in that district. I really like what their quarterback Carter Kopecki has done. 813 yards through the air, 13 touchdowns, just 1 interception. And then they've also established the ground game more over these last few weeks. They had to throw it around against Duncanville and DeSoto. They've really relied on Danny Green recently. 69 carries, 458 yards, 6 touchdowns on the ground this season. But watch out for Kimball. Their only loss on the season so far, as they've won some games throughout the campaign. They've won 3 straight. Their only loss was to that Dallas Carter team that we'll talk about a little bit later on in the show as well. A little bit of a tease there. They are almost exclusively working through the air. I really like Williams Hall at the quarterback position. 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's already had 1,300 passing yards. They're going to try and throw it around a little bit against South Oak Cliff. This has a feeling of that Southlake Keller game in 2022, whereas South Oak Cliff is certainly the traditional power. They have the talent. They have the favorability in that matchup. But watch out for Kimball to keep this closer than you'd think.
And in keeping with my Texas OU theme this week, of course, South Oak Cliff, the alma mater of Texas freshman defensive back Malik Muhammad. We move on to game number 3, and there are some alums from this high school playing in the game on Saturday. Burleson Centennial is playing the Denton Ryan Raiders, and Denton Ryan has Oklahoma safety Billy Bowman, as well as running back Khalib Hicks, and Texas tight end Jatavion Sanders, and linebacker Anthony Hill Jr.
I was about to say, there was a touchdown the other day with Sanders throwing to Hill against Baylor. That was wild. I mean, yeah, Denton Ryan has always been that number 1 team, but look for Centennial to pull off the upset. They won this game last year as well. That was a shocker at the time. I don't think it would be a shocker here in 2023. They run that triple option about as well as anybody. I got the chance to see them early earlier in the season at Toyota Stadium when they took down Frisco 14-13 in that game. But not only can they run the triple option, they can play some defense as well. They've got some really long defensive backs on the outside. That's how they're going to really challenge this Denton Ryan squad. Denton Ryan's going to try and get after the run game, though, because, of course, Centennial doesn't throw it around a lot. They like to run the football for the most part. But if they do decide to throw, Trey Bates, the defensive lineman for Denton Ryan, 6'2", 260 pounds. He's got 13 offers on the table right now. He doesn't have a star yet. He is a senior. He's got a recruiting profile, and he's got plenty of programs interested. Get that man some stars. He's going to try and earn that against Centennial this week.
And by the way, as far as Denton Ryan's concerned, when they won state 3 years ago in the 2000 season, all those guys that are currently playing for Oklahoma and Texas, they were on the Denton Ryan team. Plus Bear Alexander, who's a star out at USC after transferring from Georgia. Game number 4, Mansfield Summit against Midlothian Heritage. It's a battle of Jaguars here, and two pretty good teams.
Yeah, two very good teams, and teams that have continued to trend in the right direction. Summit, I was really, really impressed with the win they had last week. I would be more impressed if they pulled this off. They took down Burleson in hardcore fashion, really put up some big-time points. The defense had their best game of the season, arguably, and they rebounded from 2 losses early in the season that I don't really think was the right Summit team. They've found that rhythm, and this is a prove-it game for this Jaguars bunch against another bunch of Jaguars. Number 7 team in the state so far at their level for Midlothian Heritage. Carter Rutenbar, the quarterback, throwing to Stetson Surratt. Surratt has 456 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns as a wideout. Expect him to get involved early and try and take down that Summit bunch that, like I said, starting to find a little bit of rhythm, but Midlothian Heritage has the depth that you would want from a top 10 ranked team.
And Carter Rutenbar, a dual sports star, also a baseball player committed to play baseball at the University of Arkansas. We're just getting started here on this edition of Friday Night Stars. Oh, Kyle Yeomans is going to be such a busy man, as he always is, calling Frisco football this weekend. The Showdowns at the Star when we come back.
This segment was brought to you by Whataburger. What's better than Whataburger? How about more Whataburger? Download the Whataburger app and start earning points toward free food with Whataburger Rewards.
Time for the Showdown at the Star, and tonight's Showdown, Kyle Yeomans will be calling Frisco Memorial against Frisco Emerson, featuring OU commit at quarterback Michael Hawkins. And on Friday, Kyle will also be calling the Lone Star Centennial game, and Lone Star, of course, the alma mater of Texas linebacker Jalen Ford. And how about, I bet you're interested going down the Nike Star Walk here and taking a look at that OU committed quarterback for Emerson tonight.
No doubt. I got a chance to watch him last year when he was the quarterback at Allen, made the transfer following their by-district loss to Louisville. And then now that he's here at Emerson, you can see the cerebral side of the game starting to fill in as a senior. And he's really taken that step, not only from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint. And I'm excited to see how he handles the first half tonight. Memorial doesn't have the depth that Emerson does. Emerson has a chance to make a run at that the 5A Division II level. I'm really excited to see how they continue to get after it.
And as for the Lone Star Rangers of Coach Jeff Rayburn, it is a recruiting hotbed every year at Lone Star High School. And let's take a look and a listen to them.
I'm really proud about the family atmosphere, number one, that we've created here in the past 14 years that we've been open. This is my 11th year as the head coach, and just really proud of the way our guys practice and compete on a daily basis, and that's allowed us to be successful. We've won over 100 games in the last 10 years, and that's a credit to our players working hard and buying in to our program.
We're super young and talented. Our offensive line is elite. We got super big guys there, lots of experience. I think every starter has started previously, so it makes my job super easy. We got a lot of young, fast skill players. Obviously, we got Davian in the backfield, super talented. And then we got, great receivers. A lot of them are young and already doing special things. So it's just a blessing, makes my job easier when they're so good, talented, fast, big.
And obviously we've had a lot of top-level elite talent here that's gone on to play in big-time college football. Everywhere you look on Saturdays, you're going to see kids from Lone Star across the country playing on big-time college football. And now you look on TV, you'll see Nick Bolton playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. You'll see Marvin Mims playing for the Denver Broncos. We'll have several other kids. I think we'll probably have 4 or 5 kids in the NFL within the next couple of years.
Our goal is state, right? It's a big thing we got to have right there. Being able to play all 4 quarters all night, keep going. Getting all the experience from the games, getting better every single game. So it's great to see that, just keep getting better every single game.
Another OU connection there with Marvin Mims, the former Landry Award finalist.
Yeah, this is a Lone Star team that has established that reputation of they're going to churn through talent and they're going to continue to play as a team, even with that talent in the program. It really is a credit to what Jeff Rayburn has done with that program, with Lone Star. And I'm really excited to see Davian Gross. You heard there one of the linebackers talking about the young, talented tailback. He's just a sophomore. Sounds like he could be another one of those top talents, and he's saying, hey, 4 or 5 guys from Lone Star could be in the NFL soon. I wouldn't be surprised if he continues on the trajectory he's got. He could be certainly in that mix, maybe even one of the better players to come out of Lone Star. On the other side, he's going to have a chance to learn tonight against this Centennial Ball Club, tomorrow night against the Centennial Ball Club. They have Harry Stewart III. He's a 3-star commit to Kansas. I think Kansas is really excited that he's coming in. He is really a weapon for that Centennial Titans bunch, and a chance that if they can stick in this game against the talent of Lone Star, he's the reason why. In
District 7 4A Division I, Panther Creek Panthers against the Carter Cowboys. You're excited about this matchup, too.
Oh, my gosh. This is the matchup of the year in this district. Panther Creek just turned down and took down Wilmer Hutchins. They're sitting at 5-1 after that win. If they can get over the Carter Cowboys, it's going to set up a winner-take-all final week of the regular season between Panther Creek and Salina, of course, assuming that both Panther Creek and Salina can take care of their District 7 4A slate the rest of the way. Whoever wins this matchup is going to have a great chance to up in Salina and try and take down what the Bobcats have done so far. Doesn't mean that they're going to do so. The Bobcats look fantastic, but Panther Creek has looked pretty good too. Top passing attack in the 4A level here in DFW.
All right, up next here on Friday Night Stars, we take a trip to Melissa. What a powerhouse they have there.
This segment is brought to you by Whataburger. If you're a Whataburger shake fan, I have 2 words for you: banana pudding. That's right, the Whataburger Banana Pudding Shake is back on the menu, but only for a limited time.
I'd like to try one of those banana pudding shakes.
I think I'm going to have to.
Whataburger.
The more I hear about it while we're up here, the more I've got to try it.
Yeah, I think so too. Welcome back here to Friday Night Stars. Time to take a trip to Melissa. The unbeaten Cardinals. They have established a powerhouse, and they've done it with some unique wrestling techniques on defense.
Give me that. Like that. That's it. Do it again. The other one. That's it. So look, now fit me up. Okay, if you're exiting this side, this elbow goes down, this elbow goes up. Go. Look, my hands are split, and you're reaching. Offensive linemen and defensive linemen are kind of the unsung heroes of all football. You know, they sacrifice so much. It's a fight, it's a battle, it's very physical. You know, we solve a lot of our problems with being the more physical unit. Tackle's got you, tackle's got you. Guards are gonna step and look and go help somewhere. Okay, it's fit rush anyway. Get in where you fit, and if we're eagle, we got 2 edge rushes. For me, the biggest thing has been how I teach and how I coach and practice. Specifically, when we get to our pass rush time, that operates less like football practice and more like wrestling practice. We teach a move, we show a move, we talk through the technique.
First, I just shoot my hands out fast as I can, get that lockout, because then you create that distance between them, and then I quick shed them, either arm over or a rip, right before they even get that momentum back.
There's just different moves like slicing, stuff like that we can use, but a lot of it is just like tackling and just being able to use your hands very well.
We're looking at attributes that make a good defensive lineman. We're in a fight, we're in a physical battle every snap. You know, one of the biggest attributes we look for is somebody who's defiant, somebody who is not going to be blocked.
Whoever gets the best hand position usually wins, and wrestling, you're always fighting for hand position. I've been wrestling since I was about 6 years old. I took second to state last year as a sophomore, and wrestling, at least for me, since I've been doing it for my whole life, I usually know what I'm looking for next, and I'm just trying to set that guy up, you know, and defensive line, I kind of just go hit someone and trying to pull him off me.
Our hands are so important on the defensive line. It's one of the hardest things to learn, but once a guy gets comfortable playing with his hands, everything gets so much easier for them.
That's what we've worked all summer. I mean, what we've worked since my freshman year, just get-offs, just every point of contact, shooting your hands, thumbs up, stuff like that.
When you see young defensive linemen or guys that are new to position, there are a lot of times when they've got the offensive line pressed up against their body, they're on their shoulders, they're on their chest, and they can't make plays, they can't do anything. And the second they learn to strike hands first, lock out and separate, the game slows down for them, their vision increases.
You're not going to be successful if you're not using your hands, and I think I figured that out finally. Started last year and started to play in a lot more heavy-handed.
You have to have that mentality of just getting out there because almost every play you're getting a double. But the mentality is just you sitting there and stay strong and don't let them move you.
We're fighting with our hands, we're fighting for leverage, we're looking to lock out with our arms and get extension so we can get vision on the ball carrier, and then we gotta dispatch of the offensive line and get where we're going.
And I'll kind of put my head down and go to work. It's a love-hate relationship. It's the hardest sport in the world, but man, I love it.
Makes a lot of sense to marry the wrestling program with the football program at Melissa. They are both top-notch. And by the way, keeping with that Texas OU connection, you did see Nigel Smith there, the OU recruit, and should be playing on Saturdays next year.
Yeah, this is just a red rivalry show is what this ended up being. I really like it because you even talked to some of the NFL players that were in wrestling beforehand, most notably with the Cowboys. Osei Odighizuwa was a state championship wrestler in high school, and he says he still relies on the physicality, the handwork, the footwork that allows you to gain leverage on blockers in front of you. I mean, it's not traditional, but it's certainly something that works. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing that grow more and more as these programs start to figure out what Melissa has.
And we're also seeing Micah Parsons use some of those techniques. If it's good enough for Micah, I think it's good enough for everybody else. All right, we'll wrap up Friday Night Stars when we come back in a moment.
Friday Night Stars, presented by Whataburger. The buttery, flaky Whataburger jalapeno cheddar biscuit that you know and love is back. If you don't know it, well, it's here for a limited time only at participating locations, served 11 p.m. to 11 a.m.
Coach, we got a kicker.
Yes! Let's go! Woo!
I follow my heart, and it's something I want to do. Like, I just hear everybody cheering. I'm like, wow, this feels amazing.
Let's go, Jackie.
I have an uncle who plays football. He played for Kansas, and he's the one supporting me too. He was like, oh, you have to do this. At first, I was really nervous because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to miss the first thing. Because there was a lot of people around, so I was like, I don't want to miss it. But once I hit it, and it went out, I was like, oh, I have so much confidence now.
Jackie Aguilar, Wilmer Hutchins, place kicker, and Kyle Yeomans had a chance to see last week. Jackie's kicking extra points.
And that's the thing is, I've seen a lot of football, so it's very rare that I become speechless. That was really cool. It really was. She walked out as a captain before the game, won the coin toss, might I add, went through and was perfect on her extra points in the matchup. So really cool. Jackie, keep on rolling. Keep doing your thing.
All right, Wilmer Hutchins having a very nice season as well. Some more games to watch this weekend, and we'll keep with the Texas OU theme here. Longview features OU commit running back Taylor Tatum, #1 running back in the nation, playing at Forney. North Crowley, the alma mater of Texas freshman linebacker Samaje Burrell, playing at Saginaw Boswell. And Richardson Berkner at Highland Park, which of course, the alma mater of Texas wide receiver Paxton Anderson and the great Bobby Lane, a Texas legend.
I can't believe this is impressive. I think it is impressive. Richardson Berkner, by the way, had a big upset earlier in the season over Lake Highlands. Lake Highlands beat Highland Park. Think about that whenever this matchup happens. Highland Park doesn't lose at Highlander Stadium very often, but just keep an eye on Richardson Berkner. Things could get interesting there. Scotty's coming off of a 15-13 really tight win over Jesuit last week, trying to keep that momentum going.
Berkner, the alma mater, Everson Walls, a former Cowboy who didn't play for Texas, but Herky Walls played for Texas. We'll see you next week.